Hello, in today's video I'm taking you to a few different thrift stores west of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Here we go. Hello you all, I am here in Mound, Minnesota. It is a sleepy little town and I've never been to this thrift store. I never knew it was here. It popped up on my map. I am very west of Minneapolis. Like I probably like 45 minutes west of Minneapolis. Basically surrounded on three sides by water. You've heard of like the land of 10,000 lakes. Well, here in Mound, you feel like it because there's basically lakes everywhere. So anyway, I've been to a Pennywise up in Buffalo, Minnesota that I love. That's actually where I've found some great treasures, like some of my first thrifted metal flower frogs I ever found were at that Pennywise. So I thought, maybe I'll go. So I don't know if it like just opened. I just passed the building. It doesn't open till 10. And the building looks fairly new, so maybe it's a newer thrift store. No idea. But anyway, let's go inside and see if we can find some thrifted treasure. I'm always on the hunt for butter pats. None of these were butter pats. They were actually just decorative plates, but that's what took me in at first. I thought this was a pretty lusterware piece. I think it was marked at $8. When I go thrifting, I'm mostly thrifting for my home decor and my collections, but I also have a resale booth in a vintage shop nearby, so sometimes I'll pick up items for that booth. I am on the hunt for a few glasses for my home. I would like this half size, but these were a little wide for my liking. I don't want a whole set, I just need like 2 or 3 to replace some that have broken. Okay, Pennywise was a bust. It appears that Pennywise has been affected by the problem that most other thrift stores have been affected by, which is thinking that they are a vintage shop, which they are not. So no, thank you. I'm not going to pay $18 for a Pyrex bowl in a thrift store. They have a good mission, it seems like, but their prices are just too high for a thrift store. Don't call yourself a thrift store if you're not going to have thrift store prices. So now I think I'm going to Bibles for Missions because that's become a favorite of mine. They have had great stuff lately and they have kept their prices at a reasonable level, so I don't feel like I waste my time when I go in there. So that's where I'm going to next. It's a little far from where I am. I have to map it because I actually don't know the best way from where I currently am because like I told you, I'm in the middle of lakes. So anyway, I'll map myself there and we'll go see if we can find some stuff at Bibles for Missions.
One of my favorite things about Bibles for Missions is their furniture area. They do not have thrift store prices on their furniture. I would say they are solidly secondhand furniture prices, but they're very fair prices for what they're selling. They just have a really good stock and it's like a constant flow of stock. So I love looking at their furniture. They always have hutches. I'm always on the hunt for just the right hutch. I almost found one once, let it go, haven't seen another since, but I do enjoy looking because they always just have a lot of really nice things. I loved this little blue and white chair. It was very stained on the seat, but the price was great, but it was really uncomfortable. I sat down in it, so I wasn't going to get it just for the aesthetic, but I really thought it was very cute. I loved this desk. My favorite part about it were the little knobs on these drawers. My step grandma growing up had tables with these knobs and I used to sit and spin them. And that's totally what this reminded me of. But I thought that was a really, really nice piece for $80, very fair price. I loved this end table, but it was kind of big for an end table, like kind of wide. I could totally see this being painted like a sage kind of green and antiqued a little. I feel like I've seen a table like this painted in that color. And if I had anywhere to put it, I would have picked it up myself and painted it, but it was a very good price at $18. I just didn't have anywhere to put it. This is their vintage area, so the prices in this area tend to be a little bit higher, but usually still pretty decent. I don't generally buy from this area, but I always like to look just because they have interesting things. They've moved their basket area, and I actually like it here a lot better. It's easier to shop for the baskets now. They had a lot of Longaberger baskets. Someone must have donated their collection. And a lot of times in Goodwill, you'll find these for like $19 to $30. So it was good to see that they had better prices on their Longabergers. It's not something I collect, but nice to see there were better prices. I loved the size of this basket. I picked up one similar at the bins, and it's just great for using in vignettes. I did bring it home. I don't love the color, and I don't love that there's like pink and purple in it. So I'm going to try to stain it because there's no glossiness to it. So I'm going to see if I can darken it up a little bit. If it works, I'll let you know. I'll put it in a video somewhere. This was a lovely handmade basket. I just didn't love that the top was painted. It had a blue bow and it said Barbara on it. So at $5.99, it wasn't a project I wanted to take on. I loved this lamp and the one next to it. They reminded me of the Syracuse China pattern called Magnolia. I don't have anywhere to put them in my home, but I did think they were quite lovely. I loved this butter crock. They had it in their special vintage area, and if it had had its lid, I definitely would have bought it, even for the $10 price. I don't think it was worth the price without the lid, but I thought it was really cute. I also liked this piece. It was just a ceramic piece made to look like a piece of crockery, but I thought it was really cute. And that was only priced at, I think, $1.99. Bibles for Missions has a lot of artwork. It is kind of hard to look through because it's stacked several pieces deep on the shelves, but I did happen upon this vintage barn print, which I was super excited about. If you're not aware, I do have a wall of barn art in my hallway, and I haven't added a piece in a very long time, so I was excited to bring this home. Now, I noticed here in the filming, the bottom of the frame did have a crack in it, and the piece that was cracked fell off in my cart while I was shopping. So when I brought it home, I noticed that it now has a hole in the frame, which I can replace with wood putty. But for now, I just used a little bit of my antique wax to kind of cover up the color. It adds to the rustic look. I probably will never get around to fixing it, but I do love how it looks here on my barn wall. I recently knocked a vintage painting off the wall and cracked the frame. It is an oval shape, so I thought this could work, but this doesn't have glass, and the painting is an actual painting. It's a watercolor, so I really want it behind glass for protection. I loved these dishes. They are a false-graph Christmas pattern, something very modern. I have not seen false-graph like this before, but I thought they were really pretty. When able, Bibles for Missions sells their dishes in sets, which I actually think is a pretty good idea, especially if someone is looking to set up a home. I don't generally buy sets of dishes, but I do like the idea, and I always like to look. Someone had donated their Yorktown pattern from False-Graph. I don't do a lot with the Yorktown pattern, but I always like to look to see what's there. They had a lot of pieces. And then I thought this was cool. This is the bowl that actually goes with that large pitcher I showed you earlier. I was actually contemplating this set, and I do use pink in my decor in the spring, but I thought, it'll go out of season in my decor too quickly. I don't do a lot with green and white dishes, but this rooster really drew me in, and it was only 79 cents. So for 79 cents, I could not leave this piece on the shelf. It does not have a mark. It does feel older, and I love it. I'm not sure where I'll put it yet. Otherwise, I'd show it to you in place, but when I place it, I'll let you know. Here on my channel, I try to take you thrifting with me at least once a week. I like to tell you why I may pick something up for resale or why I may leave it behind, and also where I'm using items in my home. If any of that interests you, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll get notified every time I upload a video. I thought these were interesting. They look like milk glass barrels. I really don't know what they're for. At first I was like, are they light covers? But they're too opaque for that. So I don't know. If any of you has any idea, you can let me know because I've not seen them before. This is the vintage false folk art pattern, which I now know because one of you told me. And I really like this pattern. I don't see it very often, so I do always consider these pieces when I see them. On this day, I did pick up this bowl. It actually has a chip on the back, which I didn't notice until I was paying. But my plan from the get-go was to set a little plant in it, so I didn't think the chip would matter too much. This is probably not the plant that will be in here long term, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what I was thinking. This is my little primitive corner down in my bedroom, and here's my other piece of this pattern. I loved this bowl, so gorgeous, but it had a giant crack in the inside and didn't want to risk it. I don't really do red transferware, but I was completely drawn in by this teapot. It was only $1.99 because it's missing its lid. But if I want to set a plant in it, I don't need the lid, and I have the perfect place for this. I recently did a thrift flip to create a new place for my red and white restaurant ware. I'm not going to show you the place that I created. I will show that to you in a video in a DIY later in the week. But I've placed the teapot on top of that, and oh man, I think it fits just perfectly. I love it. I thought this vintage tray was adorable. It looks homemade with the vintage decals on it. I'm going to put this in my shop, and I'm going to put a for sale sticker on it, but I'm also going to use it to display things because I think it's great for display until someone decides that they want to buy it. I thought this was super cute. It looks to be like a vintage spice drawer of some sort. I don't really know why you'd only have one drawer, maybe for salt or something. For 99 cents, I did bring this home. I wanted to point out that it is marked made in Japan, which was kind of neat. So it's definitely vintage. I am going to use it in my kitchen somewhere, but I am currently preparing to do some painting and a little backsplash in my kitchen. So I haven't put it up yet. I'll put it up after that, but that is how I plan to use it. Dog and cat things sell pretty well for me at the Pink Elephant where I have my booth. If this had been a lower price, I would have picked it up, but at $2.99, I can't make much more than that on resale, so I left that behind. I did pick up these pewter candlesticks. For now, I've just added them to this collection of things down in my room. And I do plan to paint this shelf. That is on the short list for this summer, so don't mind the paint job, but I really like this collection of pewter in the bedroom here. I was going to pick up this vase for my shop until I realized it must be a second because it's a vase with a hole in the bottom, which is not very useful. If someone really wanted, they could make a lamp out of it, but that's not what was going to work for me. I did pick up this little blue and white crocheted doily for $1.99. I don't have one like this, and I've placed it under this little Roseville pottery crock. I'm planning to put plants in here once it warms up and I can go to the nursery and buy plants without killing them, because you can see it's pretty wintry here still. I loved this wreath and I thought it would be really pretty in my kitchen for the summer, but I really wanted two of them to put on my cabinet doors and there was only one available. So I did leave that behind. And just a few other things I picked up that didn't make it into the footage. I bought these bowls. I'm going to replace 2 bowls that are in my cabinet with these 5. We always need bowls. And I loved these because they say Daisy in the middle, which makes me think of our pup. And they have blue and white, which is what I'm going with in my kitchen these days. And then I picked up this mitt, oven mitt, just because mine are looking really gross and grimy, and this one looks new and it's really heavy duty, and it was 99 cents. So I thought that was a really good deal and something very useful. And the last thing is this blue and white bowl. I think it's just gorgeous. And this will go somewhere in my blue and white dishes collection, probably in my china hutch. All right, Bibles for Missions. I always leave the S off for some reason. Anyway, Bibles for Missions Thrift Center was great as usual. I hope you enjoyed coming thrifting with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.